these hormones are based on what? Fat. So if you start to give your body more fat, what's going to happen to your hormones? They're going to do what? They're going to go up, especially if you've been on the bandwagon, low fat's good, low fat's good, low fat's good. If you've been on that big one, I would imagine you're probably kind of sick, okay? Because you don't have enough fat. So what the research has shown when it comes to hormones, the first thing that happens is your hormones decrease. Your hormones decrease, then you what? Age. So it's decreased hormones, and then you age. It's not the other way around. It's not that you age and the hormones go down. It's hormones first, then you what? Age. Right? So just with the fat, with the backslide, we're supporting your hormonal level. Okay, so this is actually me. All right, so I'm going to show you my stuff. So I have a couple labs here. So I really started doing the ketogenic thing or eating more of this fat probably 18 months ago, or maybe 2 years ago, right? So I would check my lab. So this is a thyroid. This is a thyroid marker. And you can see red means it's low. That is, it's like I had a thyroid that wasn't optimal. Like obviously I have a lot of energy and all that stuff, but you know I wanted to manipulate the lab. I wanted the lab to look better. Okay. So this is in 14. This is 16 here. You can see that my thyroid went up by 20 points. And the only thing I did was put in fat. I tried tons of different supplements for my thyroid and rechecked it, and nothing drove it up except the only thing I can correlate it to is the fat. Okay, my A1C. What should your A1C be? What's the sweet spot? 5.2. Lower the better. Okay, mine was 5.3. Now it's what? 5. Okay, so I've been able to get that down as well. All right, this is my fasting insulin right here. So wait, I checked that 4 times. It was 4, and now it's up to what? 7. So I mean, I like to be 5. So I need to like get back in my diet a little bit because that shows me a marker that's not optimal. Okay. And then this right here, this is my proudest slide right here. I'm going to be a 45-year-old man. This is checking my testosterone level. Okay, now check this. In 2014, my testosterone was what? Can anyone read that? 921. Lab high is 827. I'm more than lab high. Okay, so I'm a 43-year-old man, and my testosterone is higher than most 20-year-olds. So, and then after I put more fat in my diet, what happened to my testosterone? It went what? It went up. So every man in here would give up NFL football for their lifetime if they could have testosterone that high for a month. Okay? So this is the whole point. This is diet. Like I've been exercising and eating well since I've been 13 years old. This isn't like a chance that I have this, right? So if you have any abnormal labs that are not optimal here, for men and women, all your hormones are doing what? They're going what? Down. Okay, so we want to normalize that. Okay. So here's here's a quick study. This is on 64,000 or 46,000 people. So this is a huge study. And what they measured is they measured fasting glucose. So that's one of the tests that we would measure, your fasting glucose. It's a simple test. Just prick your finger, okay? So what they found out is, what's this lab range? What's the lab range on your sheet? What's like the lab range? Not the 65 to 99. Okay, now our sweet spot here where we want this is between 80 and 85. So this is what this study had shown, which is 46,000 people, which is a huge, huge, huge study. It showed this, that for every point over 84, glucose represents a 6% increase of becoming diabetic in the next 10 years. So for example, if you have a glucose level of 94, you have a 60% increase of becoming diabetic in the next what? 10 years. Now if they tell you here, if you get that lab and let's say it's at 94, which is going to be right here. Oh, can I draw? Which is going to be 94, right there. They're going to tell you are perfectly what? Healthy. But the research, this is like an American Journal of Medicine, shows that you're more increased risk for what? Diabetes. So we want to be here, man. This is where you want to be. This is where you want to strive to be in that range. Okay? Okay, this is a visual. I like to give people visuals so they can see. So this is an A1C. So your blood cells only last 90 days, like they die, right? Every 90 days they die. So what an A1C is how much glucose is attached to it, right? You can just, you ever had like sugar on the counter, it's really sticky, right? So a high A1C, this is all these sugar molecules. They stick together. So you can see if you have a high A1C, you can see how your blood would be thick, okay? And thick blood's not good, right? The cells actually stick together. So we want a low A1C, and this is what that looks like right here, is a low A1C. Okay, these are just some labs here just to show you, like, it's the proof's in the pudding, man. So this is the diabetic comes to me, this is fasting insulin, is what's the first marker? 46. That was the highest I ever saw. So we checked it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and at the end she's down to what? 14, right? So what was the solution for these people in the medical system? Here's metformin, and here's now you're really bad. Now you're on what? Insulin, right? Like this was all handled through diet and functional medicine. 2 + 2 = 4 all the time, not sometimes, but all the time. Work with the laws of Mother Nature, you're going to get better. Here's an A1C model. Here's an A1C, was 6.1, now it's what? 5.4. These things just don't happen in the conventional system. They don't have any tools. They don't have any explanation for this. This is one of my patients that had, I think she had bad lupus, right? A connective tissue disorder. If you have any autoimmune disease, guaranteed you're inflamed. You have these markers that are whacked. So she started at 6.3, now she's at what? 5.4, right? So this is just normalizing the body, allowing the body to heal and function much better. Here's another fasting insulin on one of my patients. 15, 16, I'm like, you know, it's not going down. We just tried to handle this through diet alone. I put her on this stuff right here, berberine. This is when I added that. I'm like, that's not going down. I added this one thing, which comes from a plant. You can get this on Amazon for $20 freaking dollars. It's berberine. Just figured I'd show you berberine. That crashed her number by 10 points in a matter of 2 months, right? So this is about source. It's about healing. It's about information. Okay, I like this slide. This is a good visual. So how many grams of sugar in the human body at any particular time? Basically, it's a teaspoon. So if we take all your blood, right, we suck you dry for blood, there is only a teaspoon of sugar, normal, healthy, in your bloodstream. This is it. That's it. How many of these do you think are in a can of pop? Like 13, right? Or whatever. So that's going in your body. Or let's say you eat a bagel. A bagel has how many grams? 50. It's 10x what you should. So you can see if you eat oatmeal or you eat a bagel for breakfast, what's happening to your sugar levels in your body? They're doing what? They're going super, super high. And what's happening with your ability to lose weight? It's what? Taint. And what happens to your inflammation when you eat that bagel? Is it up or down? It's up. Right? So this is why the ketogenic diet is so, so critical. We're going to skip that for time purposes. I'm going to explain it right here. Okay, so here, what happens here is you see the black line is glucose. So I just want to make sure everyone understands what glucose is. If you eat oatmeal that's broken down to glucose, it's the smallest source of energy in your body. People tracking? Okay. The red line is your insulin. Okay, your insulin. You see that red line is insulin? So let's say for breakfast you have oatmeal, orange juice, and a banana. What's going to happen to your glucose levels? They're going to do what? Super high, right? Bam, that's horrible. So here's the black line. It's super high. Then you see the red line, your insulin. The insulin goes up. Now, because you ate this oatmeal, and that goes through your body very quickly, your glucose levels does what? It what? Drops. This is when you get super, super hungry. Now, here's the key to this. This is a key slide. What's happened to your insulin levels? They're still what? High. And what does insulin do to calories? It puts calories where? Into the fat cell. Okay, if your heart doesn't need more energy, those cells are going, they're always open for business. Okay, so what we want to do is, okay, weight gain, inflammation. We want to normalize your glucose. And then if you normalize your glucose, what just happens with your insulin? It's what? It lowers. Okay? So sometimes I tell people, okay, you gotta go gluten-free. Because if people have a lot of like chronic pain or inflammation, you gotta go gluten-free. So you can't go gluten-free and go out and buy a gluten-free bar. right? Because what's in the gluten-free bars? It's all what? Sugar. Okay, it's all sugar. So that is actually causing more of a problem by going gluten-free when you buy those processed foods than actually like the gluten, okay? So gluten-free products you pay more for, but they're just not good. All right. So here's where we're going to start to transition into some solutions here. All right. This is just a visual. I just want to show you a visual. Okay. We have proteins. We have meat. We have potatoes. We have fat. Now right down here, this is energy right here. So you can see how the fat, there's only a few circles there. It's very efficient. Fat immediately turns into what? Energy. It's a very efficient fuel. Fat, we have what? Fuel. Here we have carbohydrates. Look at all this stuff. Like, that's a nasty fuel source. It takes a lot of fuel. It takes a lot of different processes to break this stuff down and cause energy. Just like the oil plant, you break down oil, there's always going to be what? Byproducts. So again, if you have a high sugar diet and the sugar's breaking down for energy, you have a lot of byproducts, right? Byproducts aren't good. It's exhaust. That will cause your body to be inflamed. So this is why transitioning to fats, you cut this out and you get right in here. So for example, if you eat oatmeal, it takes 26 steps for that to be converted into sugar, or to be converted into energy. Oatmeal, 26 steps later, energy, okay? Down here, I must have erased it. It takes 3 steps. Fat, 3 steps. Fat, 3 steps, energy. Your oatmeal, 26 steps. What do we have? Energy. And all these 26 steps, that's where all the byproducts are coming from. It's hard on your body. So this right here, this is a Bulletproof coffee. This is brain octane. This is a fat that I put into the coffee. Now, this is a very, very special fat. This comes from coconut oil. To get 1 tablespoon of this, you'd have to consume 18 tablespoons of coconut oil. 18. So this is a very special fat because fat and water don't mix, right? They don't mix. So this fat is very special in that it's small and it can go in your bloodstream without like a ship. It doesn't need a transport. Fats need to be transported because they're big and water and oil don't mix. So this fat is very small. It's very small, so it can get in your bloodstream without the what? The ship. Okay, you track, what's your name? Dana? Jana, you tracking with me, Jana? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, good. All right, so Jana's tracking with me. So it can go in there without a ship, and then it sees this little cell that's been starving for a fuel because you have high glucose. That fat can go what? Right into the cell and produce what? Energy, whatever it needs to do, right? So this is why brain fog lists. If you have brain fog, that's a huge sign that your labs are whacked, okay? Because it's telling you that the energy is not getting into your brain. Now, this right here, we're talking fats, not proteins. I want to make a very, very clear distinction on this, and this is why. Here, fats break down to what? That's energy. Okay, that's just energy, okay? Now, when you eat proteins, this is like the pathway. Proteins can also go to what? Glucose. Okay, this is a distinction. Proteins can go to what? Glucose. Fats only go to what? Fats. So this is a key thing. So some people say, well, yeah, I did this. I ate a bunch of protein. I didn't lose any weight. Well, the thing is, yeah, bacon. Yeah, bacon makes everything better, doesn't it? Who doesn't like bacon, right? The thick bacon. Bacon's butter. Bacon makes everything better. So here's the thing. You might be one of these people that takes proteins and immediately shoves it into what? Glucose. You might be one of these converters that takes protein and puts it into glucose. So maybe you've tried to cut carbs, or you've tried and you've increased protein and haven't been successful, probably because this pathway is upregulated in your body and you produce more glucose, okay? All right, so this is my quiz for me, okay? So I want to make sure all my stuff that I've talked to you all about for the last hour is riding on this one slide for me, right? So you got to be with me because I don't want to bomb it, right? So if you're not getting this, it means that I did something not right in my education. So you're twirling in Target, okay? You're twirling in Target, and these are your 2 choices. You can buy the chicken breast without any skin, or you can buy this beef, which is 100% grass-fed. Okay, please answer right. Please answer right.
Buy that.
Okay, so please answer right. Okay,
Buy that burger.
Okay, goodbye. Okay, now, okay, Sam, you're rocking, man. Now, why did you buy the burger?
Because I always do.
You almost had it. You almost had it.
It's grass-fed.
Mine also has to be organic.
It is organic, man. 100%.
I don't see that on there.
Well, I know.
But
Okay, so it's everyone.
It's the fat.
It's the fat. Is everyone tracking with me? It's the fat. Okay.
So
Now,
if chicken breasts had skins on them, you'd be much better.
well, I would agree with that. That's better than that. But you'd want to try the fattier meats first. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to sophomore class. Okay, Sam. So you got these two in front of you, man. Okay. So you have
we
to.
probably got to go with the 80% versus the 90% because I'm losing my fat.
Okay, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 80% lean and this is 90% lean. Okay, so these are the nuances that could make or break your case. Like seriously, some of these things, you get in and you start diving into these people's cases, it's these little simple things that like turn a case around. Or everyone would be able to go on the internet and Google Dr. Google and be fine, right? It doesn't happen that way, man. You need guidance on what's going on. Get rid of Dr. Google. That's the worst thing people can do. Dr. Google's the worst. Okay. So here, what things can you eat? Just write this down. The Bulletproof Diet Roadmap. It's a PDF. We would print them out, but the printing on this thing is so small when you print them out. The best thing is just to Google it, download it on a PDF, and it's going to give you all the foods that you can eat that would qualify for what I'm trying to, like a ketogenic, more high-fat diet, okay? The Bulletproof Diet Roadmap. It's a PDF, it's free, just Google it. Dave Asprey is really the founder of this. Okay, so Bulletproof Diet Roadmap, you want to Google it. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes in here. So how many people have heard of glycemic index? Raise your hand. Okay, most people. So real briefly for the people who have not heard of it, glycemic index is how quickly this food breaks down into glucose. Okay, so how quickly something breaks down into glucose, okay? So we have a high glycemic index and then we have low glycemic index. So we want to eat low glycemic index, okay? So there's an index here. It's basically, the numbers here, 70, 56 to 69, and low is 55, okay? All right, so here we're just going to instill some more things here. So check this out. So this is on a scale from 1 to 100, right? Or, 1 to 100, okay? So 100 meaning as soon as you put that sugar on your tongue, your insulin level is going to do what? Spike. It's like 100's like it's like spikes up right away. Okay, so let's check this out. So in the morning you're going to eat wheat toast, and you're going to put some jelly on it, right? That has a glycemic index of what? 74. So when they're telling you eat a bagel for breakfast and jelly, what's happening to your insulin levels immediately? It's doing what? Spiking. Okay, when that spikes, what's happening to your inflammation? It's going what? Up. And what's happening to your ability to lose weight when that happens? It's dead, right? It doesn't happen. Now check this out. So check this out. Sugar, right? The sugar that you put in your coffee has a lower glycemic index than what? Wheat bread. Now, when I read that, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I got a cap on it. So I said, there's no way that's actually truth. I've read everything, researched everything. A couple good books is Grain Brain, okay? Grain Brain and Wheat Belly, yeah, Wheat Belly. Grain Brain and Wheat Belly, okay? So why would Snickers bar have a 40 and bread be 74? Why is that?
Peanuts.
It has peanuts. And what's in peanuts is what? Fat. Okay, right. Okay, we're catching up. Okay, so check this out. Eggs has a glycemic index of what? 1. Okay, so that's a good deal, right? That's good. Avocados have 1, right? So you can see now what you want to be transitioning to. So if you have a glycemic index of 1, what's happening to your insulin levels? They're doing what? They're decreasing. Okay, they're going down. Okay. Okay, we have cheese is 0. You can see like shredded wheats. All these things are high, so you can actually visualize this. And you can see there's no fat in any of this. There's no fat or protein in any of these things. They're all carbohydrate based. All right, Cheerios. So it has a glycemic index of, so check out oatmeal, 74, right? So oatmeal's off the list, okay? Oatmeal's off the list. Cashews. So the next slide here, okay, this is another quiz to see if I'm doing this right. So if you have a choice between whole milk, okay, you have whole milk here, and you have skim milk. Whole, why whole?
Because of the fat.
It has a fat, okay, so we got to be thinking fat here, okay, we're catching up. Okay, so you can see this is the glycemic index, like you want to just get things that have higher fat. Here, this is one of my patients, she was pre-diabetic, you can see this is a long time ago, we're talking 5 years ago. She was taking her blood glucose, and check this out. So in the morning, she pricked her finger, it was 106, she had, where is it? Over here. So in the morning, she pricked her fingers 120, obviously she's like bad off right there. She had 1 cup oatmeal, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 hour later, her glucose was what? 191. Now, check this out. This day here, she had 3, so it was 114, she had 3 eggs, 1 hour later, it's what? 106 versus what? 163. So just take your question for the end. Take your question for the end. So you can see here what's happening here, and the American Diabetic Association, they're recommending like eat cereals, eat oatmeal, eat bread, right? This is causing more diseases in people's bodies, and this is scientific. Like this is the way the human body works, man. There's no way getting around it. That's how it was designed to be. So this is what we want. We want sexy leanness, right? Raise your hand if you're up for sexy leanness, right? Everyone should like raise their hand for that, right? Sexy leanness. Okay, so here we have glucose levels, and here we have insulin levels. You can see how they start. If I can, this works for me. Okay, so you see low glucose, low insulin levels, and they go back to normal. Everyone see that visual? Okay. Now let's do this. Now next here we have weight gain. What do we know right now? Instantly your glucose is what, above? Okay, or the sweet spot of 85, and your insulin right now is above what? What's the sweet spot? 5. Okay, so you're going to be what? Gaining weight. You're going to be having a tendency to be insulin resistance, pre-diabetic. Okay, I'm going to skip that slide. Even though that slide took me like 5 hours to develop, I'm going to skip that. Okay, so here, if there's one thing, if you take away one thing, man, implement Bulletproof coffee. One thing, okay? So if you don't drink coffee, do tea. All right, so there's the thing. Wait, I think I have a video of this. Okay, I'm going to show you the video. Of this. So this is the inventor, Bulletproof.
Which is why I'm wide-eyed about one of the hottest new trends in downing that first morning cup of joe with a healthy slab of butter.
Have you heard of Bulletproof coffee?
No. Is that real?
You guys heard about this?
Oh, like a brand?
It's a thing that you do. I tried it today. I feel pretty good.
I had this thing yesterday called a Bulletproof coffee. Have you ever had one of these?
That's nice.
Isn't it?
That's actually nice, and you didn't even put any sugar in there.
No, not at all. Just unsalted grass-fed butter and great octane.
I was meant to teach you about this, and apparently you're already drinking it. Bulletproof coffee?
Yeah,
For how long,
Bulletproof
man?
coffee. Yeah, this is it. I think since you were coming up, I started drinking. Do you guys know about Bulletproof coffee?
It will change your life.
We're going to take a look now at a counterintuitive new coffee trend. It's called Bulletproof coffee. The idea is that adding butter to your morning brew will help you lose weight and boost energy.
His name is Dave Asprey.
I'm a professional biohacker.
The man who has helped change Dr. Drew's life. He is the man, Dave Asprey, who invented Bulletproof coffee.
To be growing muscles, it's food. So you've got to get your diet right. And I talked about that in some of the other videos here. But assuming your food's right, you've also got to get the inputs into your system so that your body will grow muscle the way you want it to.
Entrepreneurs have hacked traditional transportation. They've hacked the education system. Is the body really kind of the next pillar?
Absolutely, the body is the next pillar. Because when I weighed 300 pounds, I was having really bad problems with brain fog. And as an entrepreneur, that's a problem.
You lost 100 pounds?
Lost 100 pounds. I used to weigh 300 pounds.
Bulletproof coffee is an invention of mine.
This provides very fast energy to the brain from fat instead of sugar. And it turns off food cravings and sugar cravings for hours and hours.
Dave Asprey's just opened his first store.
poking this concoction. I've made it my mission to make the changes in the environment around me that make me more effective at everything I do. Things that make us better humans are what I'm interested in. My mission with Bulletproof is to show people what it feels like to be stronger and to have the energy and to be able to bring it every day. Coffee's just the beginning.
Okay, so it's legit. That's why I put that video on there, right? Okay, it's legit. Okay, did you do the Bulletproof coffee? Did she bring you the coffee? Did you give it to her? No. She forgot it? I made it specifically for you two, and she forgot it. She did. Man, okay, so, all right, so this is the deal. If there's one thing that you do, you implement Bulletproof coffee. So this is what I do. I try not to eat after 8 p.m. I get up in the morning. I make this coffee. It's basically, I don't care what coffee you use. You don't have to get his coffee, but you need to get the Kerrygold butter, or you need that, non-salted. And then I put this brain octane in there. I mean, that's the fat that goes right in your head. And if you want to, if you have any muscle problems, then you can put that collagen in there, and it tastes like nothing. So what I try and do is I try and drink the Bulletproof coffee in the morning. And one thing I like coffee. I'm not willing to give up coffee. And coffee's not bad. You know, it's demonized. I don't feel I'm not in that camp. So I'll drink like 25 ounces of coffee, okay, and then I'll put probably about 5 tablespoons. I'll put like either 2 to 3 tablespoons of this Kerrygold butter, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons of this brain octane in there. And Karen's shaking her head here, the one that has her thyroid. Okay, so just don't take it from the doctor. Take it from someone that saved her thyroid. Okay, so that's all the fat in there. And then I won't try and eat until noon. That's what I try and do. So I'm literally fasting for like 12, 13 hours. And when you're fasting, what happens to your insulin levels? They're what? They're down, okay? So if you want this stuff, we have it here. It's available for you to take home. Okay, all right, we just have a few more slides. So the purpose of this workshop isn't to give you like recipes and do this and eat that. Like, what I really want is so you understand why you want to eat this way. Then it's up to you to go find this stuff. This stuff's all over the internet when it comes to like meal plan. I'm not here to give you the meal plan. I'm here to give you the data on why you need to do it. And then it's called, you know, the internet. And then you just internet ketogenic diets and stick with that and try and find those meals. So here you can see avocados, butter. I just want to like breeze through these real quickly so you can see the ingredients. Spaghetti squash, grass-fed butter, cream. It's like fat. Like, who doesn't like to eat fat, man? Fat tastes what? Good, right? Back in the 90s, like it was low fat, snack bowl cookies. They took fat out of everything and then they shoved everything with what? Sugar. Because if you don't have fat, it tastes like cardboard. So you need to put something in it. You gotta put sugar in it, right? Okay, so these are the ingredients. It's just like coconut oil, you know, fatty meats, again, butter, Alaskan salmon, all this stuff here. Okay.
So where are you finding those?
Actually, that was from a book that I read, but you can just go ketogenic diet or whatever you want. Okay. Okay. Here's a good podcast. Basically, it's a keto talk. Jimmy Moore, Keto Talk. So if you like podcasts and you want to get on this, I've listened to every one of these. He has about 80 podcasts. You want to start with the first ones first because they have a new co-host, this guy, and he's not nearly as good as the guy they had before. So start with the beginning ones and work forward. Okay. So in closing here, I've got 3 slides. I just want to go over the definition of health. So we need a new definition of health, right? So it's actually in the word. What's this first letter here? It's what? It's heal, right? So what happened is with society right now, so can someone have cancer and have no pain? Yeah. Right, that had my grandma. Like she woke up, she had pain, went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, you have cancer, it's been there for a long time, and not only is it in your stomach, it's all in your body, and 6 months later, she's what? Dead, right? So to judge pain, right, and how you're feeling and functioning is not a good indicator. So the new definition is healing and functioning at as close to what? 100% as possible. Now there's many, many things that encompass that. Right, so when patients come to you, like we're going to get their spine adjusted, we're going to change their diet. If you do functional medicine, we're going to look at the blood work. We look at all those things and make sure you're functioning and healing optimally. Now, a lot of people here, just with like Jen, you just start adjusting the spine and things happen. Right, people get better, shoulders get better, thyroid gets better, stomach gets better. Because when God created us, He put all the healing upon your brain that travels down your spinal cord and along your nerves. If I cut your nerve to your heart, is your heart living or is it dead? Dead. It's not like a belief system. If you jump off the roof, you're going what? Down. Even though you say, I don't believe in gravity, it's just a law, man, right? So if you cut the nerve of the heart is dead, right? So let's say you don't cut it, but let's say there's bones out of alignment, and you have pressure on the nerve going to your heart. Do you have a healthy or sick heart? You're going to have a sick heart. So I don't care how many jumping jacks you do, how far you run, if your spine's out of alignment, your organs aren't working right. That's just a simple fact. It's just 2 + 2 = 4. That's just how the body works, right? No one's explained it this way, and you think you go to a chiropractor because you're in a freaking car accident, okay? Right? You go to a chiropractor because you keep your spine healthy and well and maintained, and then you start adding all these other adjuncts to it, you're going to get better. Jack LaLanne, man. Dude died at 96 years old. Did you know he was a chiropractor? No. Like, yeah, he was a chiropractor, right? So people say to me, man, you're thinking outside the box. Like, Jack LaLanne didn't think, you know, like, Jack LaLanne, he's like, yeah, you're thinking outside the box. Like, that's like thinking outside the box, right? Jack LaLanne, and this is what I do in my office, no, dude, we're not thinking outside the box. What are we doing here? We're what? Making the box what? Bigger, right? So I'm spreading the thinking here, making the box what? Bigger. So now you understand, there's no doubt in my mind that if you go and you implement what we talked about, your life is going to be better for forever, because these are the laws of Mother Nature. These are the principles, okay? Okay, so is Dr. Trent here? Okay, so for any of the guests, if they want to get checked here, right, so this is a neuroscope. It checks the heat difference from side to side on your spine. It's super simple. It's a super easy technology. When you have a bone out of alignment, it puts pressure on a nerve and there's swelling there. It's really simple, right? What we do here is simple. It's not hard, it's simple, right? You scan your spine right here and you see if you have any variance in this needle that tells you that there's some bones out of alignment and you're not doing well.